All right, Raiders fans, let's dive deep into what has been an incredibly turbulent season for our Las Vegas Raiders. From the very start, there's been a lot of chatter around the organization, and it's impossible to ignore the storm that has surrounded head coach Pete Carroll. Rumors have been swirling for weeks, months even, suggesting that Pete's future with the team is far from secure, and the situation only gets more complicated when you look at the quarterback position. Geno Smith, handpicked by Pete, has struggled mightily, and his performance has not only affected the team on the field, but has created tension within the organization. It's no secret that the ownership, including Mark Davis, as well as players and staff, have felt the consequences of these decisions. And when certain coaches like Chip Kelly and Tom McMahon have been let go while others continue to hold their positions, it only adds fuel to the fire. The disconnect between what is happening in the front office and on the field has become glaringly obvious, and anyone paying attention can see why Pete Carroll's name keeps coming up in discussions about instability within the Raiders. When you look at Geno Smith's stats, the picture becomes even clearer. Passing yards can be misleading, especially when a significant portion comes during garbage time. And while his recent performances show some improvement within the Greg Olsen offensive system, the numbers still tell a troubling story. The Raiders rank at the bottom in interceptions. Their quarterback rating is near the lowest in the league, and overall, the team has struggled to compete consistently. Smith's role as team captain was meant to provide leadership both on and off the field. Yet with the mounting challenges and the financial implications of his contract, it has become a source of tension rather than stability. There is no denying that the decision to acquire Smith, giving up a third-round pick and extending his contract, was meant to be a strategic move to strengthen the team, but the results have been far from what anyone expected. It's not just the players who feel the pressure. The coaches and front office staff have had to navigate a season filled with poor personnel decisions and mismanagement. From coaching strategies to weekly changes in offensive and defensive coordination, the inconsistency has made it difficult for the team to find a rhythm. Pete Carroll's decisions from February to now have had a direct impact on the team's performance, and the combination of bad coaching choices, draft missteps, and free agency failures have put the Raiders in a position where trust and confidence in leadership are at an all-time low. The numbers and results are undeniable, and when evaluating the season as a whole, it is hard to argue against the idea that the Raiders are experiencing one of their most challenging periods in recent history. There's also the matter of organizational dynamics. The owners and front office members are actively evaluating the future of the team, and it's clear that several are ready to move on from Pete Carroll. Mark Davis, despite his loyalty and financial investment, is influenced by the opinions of others within the organization, including high-profile advisors, and there is a growing consensus that change is necessary. The alignment between ownership and the front office in terms of moving forward without Carroll speaks volumes about the direction the team is likely to take. With multiple people within the organization recognizing the need for a new approach, it becomes increasingly evident that 2025 may mark the end of Pete Carroll's tenure as head coach, regardless of the remaining games or isolated victories. In addition to the struggles on the field, the handling of players and media relations has contributed to the perception of chaos within the Raiders organization. Questions surrounding Geno Smith are often avoided during press conferences, and there's a sense that accountability is not uniformly applied, which only exacerbates the internal tensions. The decision-making process, whether it involves player movement or strategic choices, has left many observers and insiders questioning the overall competence of the leadership. Furthermore, the attempt to manage high-profile situations, such as with Christian Wilkins, has added layers of complexity and scrutiny. These off-field issues, combined with on-field struggles, highlight the challenges the organization faces in maintaining cohesion and direction. Despite the difficulties, there have been some bright spots on the roster. Players like Brock Bowers and Max Crosby have earned recognition for their performances, making the Pro Bowl and demonstrating that talent exists within the team. However, even these successes are overshadowed by broader organizational issues, and the focus remains on finding a path forward that can restore credibility and competitiveness. The current state of the team is a reflection of cumulative decisions over the offseason, draft, and free agency, and without significant adjustments, the Raiders risked continuing a downward trajectory. Looking ahead, the question of who will lead the team into the future looms large. The challenge for the Raiders is not simply about replacing a head coach, but about reevaluating the entire approach to team building, leadership, and strategic planning. Finding the right quarterback, developing a consistent offensive line, and creating a culture of accountability are all critical components that must be addressed. Pete Carroll's methods, while successful in previous contexts, have proven ill-suited to the current needs of the Raiders, and the organization must prioritize long-term growth over short-term familiarity. The reality is that rebuilding around a 74-year-old coach with outdated approaches is not a viable strategy in today's NFL. As the season progresses, it becomes increasingly clear that the Raiders' leadership must make tough decisions to ensure the team can compete at a high level in the coming years. The combination of poor performance, organizational misalignment, and outdated coaching philosophy has brought the team to a crossroads. The decisions made now will shape not only the immediate future, but also the long-term trajectory of the franchise. Fans and observers alike are closely watching every move, and the pressure to act decisively has never been greater. The stakes are high, and the margin for error is slim, making it imperative that the Raiders adopt a strategy that aligns with modern football standards, prioritizes accountability, and fosters a culture capable of sustaining success. The narrative around Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, and the broader Raiders organization reflects a complex interplay of individual performance, leadership decisions, and organizational strategy. Each decision made from drafting players to managing high-profile athletes has ripple effects that influence both the locker room and the public perception of the team. Understanding the full scope of these dynamics is essential for evaluating why 2025 has been such a challenging season and why the franchise is at a pivotal point. The convergence of poor results on the field and mounting dissatisfaction off the field has created a situation where change is not just preferable, it is necessary. The season has also shed light on the importance of strategic planning and forward-thinking management. With top salary cap space and multiple draft picks, the Raiders had significant resources to improve their roster and compete at a higher level. Yet, the results indicate that these opportunities were not fully capitalized on, and the consequences are evident in both team performance and morale. The failure to maximize these advantages has heightened scrutiny on both coaching and front office decisions, and it is clear that the organization must take a hard look at what went wrong and how to prevent similar issues in the future. Within this context, the discussion around accountability becomes paramount. Fans, media, and internal stakeholders are all evaluating how decisions are made and who bears responsibility for the current state of the team. Pete Carroll's tenure, while marked by past successes, is now being judged against the performance of the 2025 Raiders, and the outcomes have not been favorable. The team's struggles are compounded by misaligned expectations, poor player development, and inconsistent leadership, creating a scenario in which change is both expected and necessary. The Raiders' journey this season serves as a case study in how leadership, strategy, and execution must align to achieve success in professional football. From quarterback performance to coaching decisions, each component has played a role in shaping the narrative of 2025. The organization's next steps will be closely scrutinized as stakeholders seek to ensure that lessons are learned and that future decisions reflect a commitment to excellence. The intersection of on-field performance, off-field management, and organizational vision underscores the complexity of running a modern NFL team and the high stakes involved in guiding a franchise with a passionate fan base and high expectations. All right, Raiders fans, let's keep going and dive even deeper into the whirlwind that has been the 2025 season for our Las Vegas Raiders. The challenges faced this year have not only been about on-field performance, but have extended to every corner of the organization, from coaching decisions to front office dynamics and the overall culture within the team. Pete Carroll's leadership, which was meant to inspire and elevate the Raiders, has increasingly come under scrutiny, and the questions surrounding his future have intensified with each game. Fans have seen moments of promise, flashes where the team appeared capable of competing at a high level. But these glimpses have been overshadowed by inconsistency, poor decision-making, and a lack of clear direction. The quarterback situation with Geno Smith has been emblematic of the broader struggles, serving as both a focal point for criticism and a reflection of the structural issues within the team. Geno Smith's tenure as the Raiders' starting quarterback has been fraught with difficulties. While he has shown moments of competence, especially under the Greg Olsen system where the run game has provided some balance, the overall performance has left much to be desired. The interception numbers, quarterback rating, and general game management metrics paint a stark picture of a player who has struggled to meet expectations. Smith was brought in not only to execute plays, but to lead the team. Yet the combination of on-field errors and off-field controversies has highlighted the challenges of building a cohesive team around him. The decision to invest heavily in Smith, including trading a third-round pick and extending his contract, has become a point of contention, as it has placed additional pressure on the coaching staff and ownership to justify their moves while managing the fallout of disappointing results. Beyond Smith, the season has been shaped by a series of personnel decisions that have left many questioning the team's strategic planning. From draft selections to free agency moves, the Raiders had significant resources available, including top-tier salary cap space and multiple draft picks, yet the returns have been underwhelming. Players who were expected to make immediate impacts have sometimes struggled to find consistency, and coaching decisions have often appeared reactive rather than proactive. The shifting of player positions, weekly changes in offensive and defensive coordination, and other tactical missteps have contributed to an environment where trust and stability are difficult to maintain. In professional football, where margins between success and failure are razor-thin, these types of errors can compound over a season, and for the Raiders, 2025 has been a clear illustration of that reality. Organizational dynamics have also played a critical role in shaping the narrative of this season. Ownership, front office members, and coaching staff all have stakes in the success of the team, yet alignment on strategy and accountability has been inconsistent. Sources suggest that several owners are ready to move on from Pete Carroll, recognizing that the current approach is not yielding the desired results. The front office, meanwhile, has displayed confidence in its own capabilities, signaling that changes at the coaching level are necessary to complement an otherwise strong organizational structure. These internal dynamics are crucial for understanding why Carroll's future appears tenuous and why the Raiders are positioned for a potential overhaul in leadership. The combination of underperformance, outdated coaching philosophy, and organizational pressure has created an environment where change is not just likely, but essential for long-term success. Media relations and public perception have further complicated the season. Questions about Geno Smith and other key players are often avoided, either due to internal restrictions or a perceived lack of transparency, which has fueled criticism from fans and analysts alike. Situations such as the handling of Christian Wilkins have added to the complexity, highlighting challenges in both communication and accountability. For a team that relies heavily on fan engagement and public trust, these missteps have amplified scrutiny and increased the pressure on leadership to provide clear, consistent direction. The Raiders' struggles are therefore multidimensional, involving not just wins and losses, but also the broader culture and perception of the organization. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could be one of the most electrifying moves in recent NFL history, whispers are swirling around the league that Khalil Mack may be making a triumphant return to the Las Vegas Raiders. Sources close to the situation hint that the superstar linebacker, whose impact on any defense is nothing short of transformative, could be stepping back into the silver and black fold as the undisputed leader of the Raiders' defense. While nothing has been officially confirmed, insiders suggest that Mack's potential return is being viewed not just as a roster upgrade, but as a cultural reset for the team's defensive unit. Mack, whose presence on the field has historically shifted the momentum of games with bone-crushing hits, relentless pressure on quarterbacks, and unmatched football IQ, is rumored to be ready to reclaim a role that goes far beyond statistics. Those familiar with the Raiders' inner workings suggest that team management sees his leadership as a missing piece in their quest to elevate a defense that has shown flashes of brilliance but struggled with consistency. Veteran players reportedly view Mack's return as a morale booster, someone who can set the tone in the locker room and on the gridiron alike. While the rumor mill has been buzzing, the narrative around this possible homecoming goes beyond the numbers. Fans recall Mack's previous tenure with the team, a period marked by highlight reel sacks and defensive dominance, and are imagining a renewed version of that energy. Social media chatter indicates that supporters are already dreaming of the pass-rushing havoc he could wreak, envisioning a defense anchored by his intensity and experience. Analysts speculate that his impact might also extend to mentoring younger defenders, creating a synergy that could make the Raiders' defensive front one of the most feared in the league. Though cautious optimism dominates the conversation, the intrigue lies in the uncertainty. Could Mack return to Las Vegas and instantly become the heartbeat of a defense yearning for identity? If these rumors hold any truth, the Raiders might be on the verge of a seismic shift, one that redefines their defensive approach and sends a message across the league. For now, fans and pundits alike are left to speculate, savoring the possibility of seeing Khalil Mack back in black and silver, leading with the ferocity and authority that has defined his career. The potential storylines are endless, and if even a fraction of these rumors prove true, the NFL landscape could be in for a dramatic shakeup. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.